there are a lot of questions surrounding his actions. The fact that the videotape the Laquan McDonald incident did not come out until a judge compelled its release, and it only came out at the very last minute, really gives many people pause about the real intentions here of him and many others involved in the case.
That is NAACP spokesman Janae Nelson talking about Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel and the questions that continue to surround him. One question we have to ask, is it time for the mayor to resign? Joining us today are former Illinois congressman and the president of Flanagan Consulting, Michael Flanagan, and also joining me right here on set is Richard Brzeczek, former Chicago police superintendent. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in today. I want to start with you, Superintendent. First of all, pleasure to meet you.
Good meeting you.
We appreciate you coming on. So you're watching this situation obviously unfold. You were the superintendent early 80s. Technology was very, very different back then. What were your initial thoughts when you heard about this holding back of the video that was available, then it suddenly came out at the end?
Well, I think that it reflects the mentality of City Hall, not only during the Rahm Emanuel administration, but going back through the Richie Daley administration, to cover up, stonewall, do whatever you can. If it gets out, we'll deal with it. That was Daley's attitude, and I think Rahm tried to adopt that. The only problem is that Rahm may talk like a tough guy, but you can see right now he is not a tough guy. When the chips are down, this is a tough crisis. He's not as tough as he always thought he was.
Well, it's interesting because you're hearing organizations that probably supported him for mayor suddenly out here giving sound bites about what the problem is. I want to bring you in here, Michael. So Rahm Emanuel said, man, this is a tough situation. Let me go to Cuba. I mean, what kind of a message did that send to the Windy City?
That's even a worse message with coming back. I mean, he tried to defect and they rejected him. I think it's, he figured if he went away, his friends in the press and his friends in government would cover it up for him and change the subject. And I'm sure the press, which is wholly co-opted to the fifth floor, as we say in Chicago, did their best to try and move the story onto something else, and it just won't go. And now you have Al Sharpton, which is a message from the White House. That's why Al Sharpton's finally talking, saying, this is Valerie Jarrett saying, Rahm, we've called you, we've asked you, we've tried to do this quietly, now we're going to have to do this semi-publicly. You got to go.
It's very interesting, Superintendent, when you talk about something like this going on in the city of Chicago, would the mayor already have known what really happened in this story even before the video came out? In other words, did he see the video, or was he briefed and then said, well, it'll never come out, let me go and do what I'm going to do?
The now fired McCarthy should have notified Rahm. I would say this happened in the middle evening hours. The following day, 9 a.m., should have been the first thing on McCarthy's agenda to let the mayor know what happened. McCarthy knew what happened that night.
Do you think that he did tell the mayor, and we just are hearing about it now?
Well, he may have told the mayor. We don't know. I don't know what their relationship is. I thought it was somewhat of an unusual relationship. But the thing is that when you have a carpetbagger like McCarthy coming in, and they never vetted him. He had the same problems in Newark, and it was in the Chicago papers. The Chicago papers vetted him a little bit, but he still got the job. And this doesn't surprise me one bit, because this is exactly what DOJ had to go into Newark for, the same thing, excessive force, civil rights violations. So,
Mike, I'm sorry, you bring up you bring up Valerie Jarrett, who of course is President Obama, although Obama probably didn't pick up the phone to make the call himself. Was this a way, I mean, you really think that they said, do something, do the right thing, we'll keep it quiet, and he sort of poo-pooed that, so they said, all right, we're taking it to the next level, and they gathered all of their Chicago friends from every organization you can think of and from the media. You think that's how it went down?
I don't think the White House knew about this way back when Rahm covered this up so he could be elected mayor easily. I mean, this was 60, 90 days out from the preliminary election, a little bit longer. This was about getting reelected. The superintendent is very generous with the mayor and very cautious in his statements, and very wise to be so. I don't have to be so generous. I can tell it like I think it is, and there is no way Rahm didn't know, and there is no way Rahm didn't say this gets buried. And none of the Chicago media went after this to get it pulled into the light until some independent guys went to court to get it done. And it just shows how in the bag the city is for the fifth floor. And Valerie Jarrett is a product of Chicago politics, as is Barack Obama. But I'm sure that they have been, whispering about this for a couple of months now, and have basically said, Rahm, we've told you quietly, now we're telling you publicly through Al Sharpton, you got to look at something else to do with your life. this
All
is
right,
going to blow up, and we don't want to be near it.
Superintendent, what about the relationship between the mayor's office and the police? Is that going to be strained because of this, or are they looked to be both on the same side? We've only got about 30 seconds.
Well, I think that if you look at Rahm's tenure, his first term, and now the 1 year or so, or almost 2 years into the second term, it is a strained relationship. The police do not like Rahm. Okay. There's no question about it. And if you read the police blogs, you'll see what they have to say about him, and it's not favorable.
Okay. I'm almost out of time. Michael, I mean, in 5 seconds, does Rahm Emanuel resign, or does he survive this?
He will stick out as long as he can, but eventually he'll quit. And very, very, very quickly, the police are being made Rahm's fall guy. That shows you how strained the relationship is.
Mike, Superintendent, thank you so much for your time today. Listen, we thank you for your comments, and if you want to weigh in on this or anything else that we're talking about, we've got several ways to do so. Send your comments to newsmaxtv.com/comments. You can also find your comments or send them via email, Facebook, and Twitter. Stay right here.